from so many different states as well as right here in our own community to celebrate with us this time of the ending of a time of service that Kathleen and Alice and I have done. I wanted to introduce you.
Is it trying to close the door?
Try to help.
I told them to go ahead and serve coffee even as we're talking, so they'll be in and out. It's a great honor for me to be able to introduce to you Megan Radowick, who is our new music director at Christus Victor. She will have the role. She will have the role as music director that Alice has had now these past 25 years.
No big deal. Huge, shoes to fill or anything.
She also is going to be the interim chancel choir director as an additional search goes on. And of course, as you know, we do not yet have an organist replacement, but Judy Hayes is working as an interim for that role for at least for a couple months. So I think that things are in good hands. But I wanted you to all, including guests that are here tonight that have not met Megan, to meet her. So, Megan Radowick.
You want to say anything?
Not really. Thank you. Is this even on? I can project. No, thank you for inviting me. I've only been here a year, and I feel very connected to the community already, and I'm still learning everyone's name, so please be patient. But it's really been nice to have open arms, to come into and feel part of a community. So I hope that I can, pick from where we left off. It'll be a little bumpy, but I think I'm excited about the future. So thank you.
Megan is currently the modern worship service director and worship and music director for that service. So, and she has sung with the chancel choir a few times this year. So, she has a beautiful, classically trained soprano voice, and I think that gives her the tools to do a lot of styles of music. And so we're excited for those new opportunities for all of you. As I think about, I'd like to tell you a story. The story starts, I guess, 39 years ago, back in the second week of November, when we had a conversation with Pastor Roger Schindel, who invited Kathleen and I, or actually invited Kathleen, to come to an interview for an organist position that was open at Christus Victor. That was November of 1978. I look around the room to see how many people were not even born yet.
One, two.
And they offered
Three,
that
four.
position, and they kind of needed a choir director, but assumed that they couldn't afford that. So they just were going to hire the organist. And so then I came in to the meeting as well. Nancy Carlson was chairman at the time, chairperson of the Worship and Music Committee. And I think some other people at the meeting were Alice Davilo. I think Herb was there as well. I think Dick Carlson was there as well. And I remember that Kath went out to do a little audition on the organ, and as soon as she did a key lift between verses, Dick Carlson says, "I want her." So that was in 1978. Our service began on January 7th of 1979, and I believe that the first rehearsal of the choir was a week and a half after that. The attendance on the morning of the 7th of January in 1979 was 6. The reason was that we had had a 15-inch snowfall the day before. And I know that Kath and I, she hadn't been to the church, and I wanted to make sure she got there. We were in Hoffman Estates. We had to drive up Roselle Road to Gulf Road, and then go all the way east to Arlington Heights Road, and then come south because all the other roads were closed. Higgins Road was closed. There were just a bunch of roads that were not passable, and it took us nearly an hour to get to church to find 6 people and Pastor Schindel there. So I think that she she impressed everybody that she'd made that much effort to get there the very first time that she'd been there. And I think Aaron, we just bundled you up, and Aaron was 2.5 or something. Oh no, you would have been 3. Yes, you were 3. But anyway, so we had you bundled up in a snowsuit. You and I went back home and got ready for the next service. Right. I also remember as highlights being able to plan all of those years. And we got to a point in 1992 when Kathleen was working on a master's degree. I was working on a second master's degree in educational administration. And we decided that we were just really could not manage teaching full-time. For me, the Madrigal program at Hoffman Estates High School required 2 nights a week. The choir at church was Wednesday night. And we decided we just needed to stop. It was time to stop doing that because we could not do it justice. And Alice says, "Oh no, you're not." She said, "What if I did this and this and this and this, and you just needed to be there for rehearsal and do your thing, but didn't have to do all the planning part of it?" And we said, "Yes." So 25 years, that has now, now you know the real reason why we're celebrating 39 years, because it wouldn't have been that without Alice Daly. Yeah, now you know the rest of the story. Yet another important memory for me is the touring that we did with the Greater Chicago Sacred Chorale. Later to become the Greater Chicago Chorale and Brass. But we started our very first one in 1986 when Witty Travel, who we were working with, asked me if I would start an adult group to be a balance to the youth chorales that have been traveling for several years. And so in 1986 we did our very first one. 1988 we did another one. In 1991, we tried to do a third one, and Herb Davilo came to me and he said, "Are you really going to take us to parts of Germany and Austria and put up posters, American choir appearing at this place when we were fighting that Gulf War?" And it wasn't real certain exactly where the safe places would be or where they wouldn't be. And his advice made really good sense, and I went back to the owner of Witty Travel and explained my concern. He says, "You know, it's very understandable. We will give everyone a complete refund, and we'll just look for a better time," which was awesome. So we then didn't travel again until 1999, and then in 2002, 2005, 2008, and 2013. And some of you have been a part of all of those trips, or in some cases, some of them. So those tours were such a memorable part of the legacy that we have. And some of you that have come from a distance today to be a part of this, perhaps were in that 99 tour, or the 02, or the 05, or the 08,
02.
or the 2013, or all of them, Davalos. Is there anyone else that was on all of those tours besides my wife? Okay, I thought I had it right, but I just need to check. So, I just can't say enough about how this has changed me I was 29 years old when I came to this position. Today I'm 68 years old. It has been obviously a huge impact on my entire life, on the life of my children and of my daughters-in-law. It is a huge part of who we are. The loyalty that is represented in this room in terms of being at rehearsals, being able to help with planning, being able to find that extra instrumentalist or that extra bell part, or Ann Kimiko, you know, she has written so many bell arrangements for the mass choir number every single year these past many, many years. They weren't written for that style of music, but we wanted everyone to have the opportunity to be included, and so she made it happen. That's the kind of loyalty, not just loyalty, dedication, and sense of the spirit of Jesus Christ that allows us to be inspired to want to make that kind of thing happen. So I picked out Ann's name. I could pick a whole lot of other names and give an example about you, and I will fail at that, so I'm going to stop. This experience has been life-changing for Kath and I. You are our family. We've often had families that lived in another state or other states, or south 140 miles in Bloomington. But this has been our extended family. So many of you know that you're so important to us. We love you, and we treasure the memories that we have made. We look for new and different memories that will be made as the years come and go. I think we'll always have a presence in Chicago, at least while we have children living here. And so we just look forward to a different experience, but one that will remain special. Our goal would be to keep our relationships with all of you just in a new way. Thank you.